Maybe we can find some. Maybe we can find some. Maybe we can find some.
Perfecto, man. Oh man. Woo!
I didn't really have notes for this. I'm just gonna go off top.
I kind of made a little bit of notes because I feel like I just feel like I can be here for a very long time, and if I don't map out what I'm gonna say, then this is gonna be like a 2 hour long episode.
That's okay.
No, it's not okay. I don't got 2 hours. What the frick?
That's okay.
But it's fine. It's
Yeah.
okay.
We'll just go with the flow.
Hey, what's going on, world? It's your girl Shy.
And your girl T.
And welcome to the CheyTea Podcast.
Yes.
Back again, baby.
Back again for another episode.
I love how like people spend their Sundays with us.
Yeah. I love spending my Sundays with people.
You know what I'm saying? Listen to us while you clean up
Spread
your
the love.
house. You know what I'm saying? On your way to virtual church.
Yeah. Not virtual church.
You know what I'm saying? But if you are new to our YouTube channel, for our YouTube viewers, welcome. My name is Shy.
Welcome. My name is T.
And this is the CheyTea
Podcast.
Please like, comment, subscribe. Even though this
Share.
video just started. Oh, yes, share. Even though the video just started, you can still like it because you like our faces.
Yes.
Cute, ain't it? You know
That's
what
our
I'm saying?
thumbnail.
I'm telling you.
There you go.
But yes, and shout out to our Spotify listenership and our Apple Podcast
Yes.
listenership.
Thank you to everyone who've given us a 5-star rating.
Yes,
a
and if you
review.
haven't, please do that right now.
Yeah.
Thank
we
you very
appreciate
much.
You.
But man, oh man, today's conversation is a bit of
It's heavy.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot.
It's personal. And
Extremely.
That's why I think it's a lot. Yeah.
Extremely personal. I am not gonna cry today.
No.
Because
And if we do, it's okay.
Yeah, I know. But I feel like it's just gonna be anyways. Our friendship is based on our love for dance.
Yeah, I do agree.
That's how we got here. And how I met you
was at dance.
At dance.
At our home studio.
And that's how our friendship has blossomed into being business partners, into being veterans, into you being my sister from another mister. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But before we even start, I do want to say this. I do not have any animosity in my heart. The only thing that I have is confusion. We are not going to be messy. Everything that we are saying are opinions.
Yes, opinion based.
Opinion based. Nothing. No, well, it's our opinion and it's our truth.
It's our opinion, it's our truth, it's our feelings, and we just want to share because we think it's an important topic to talk about.
Yeah. And respectfully, we will not be saying any names.
No.
So I'm just gonna put that out there. We're not here to be messy. We're not here to start no drama.
Yeah.
I know it's the CheyTea, you know what I'm saying, but that's not what we're here for.
We're here to just share our experiences with you guys and let you in on our lives a little bit more. Yeah.
So I just had to get that out there before we start. Oh, man. Okay. Well, like what I said, the love of dance is what brought our friendship together. I'm 2 years older than you.
Right.
And I started at this particular studio when I was 6 years old. And I was there for about 10 years. And for me, my dance experience in the beginning was amazing.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
And we were at a very established dance studio.
Very established dance studio. I remember when I first started competing, we competed against the studio that I then moved to, which you went to. And I just remember being in awe of the talent, the cleanliness, the organization, the costuming, just how put together the studio was. And I remember one of the other parents looked at my mom and she was like, you have to bring her there. Like, her dance career will take off so much more at this place. So the next year, I remember I came to the studio and it was everything that I could have dreamed of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The training was awesome.
The discipline
The
was
discipline,
there,
the
and
structure.
I feel that with the discipline being there is what molded me to be to being the dancer that I am today.
Hmm.
And
Me too.
I have to give credit where credit is due. It's where I trained.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
what I know. It's what I know how to do. It's know who I know to be, and that is th- that's all you.
Hmm.
If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be where I am today. And I've always remember that even at presently in my life right now, I never forget where I came from. Um, we have similar stories in terms of like how we started. I was looking for a dance studio to dance at.
Hmm.
I started off at York University. They had like the little dance programs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did the dance programs there for about like 2 years. Started when I was like, yeah, about 3, 4 years old.
Hmm.
And I remember the instructor there was like, you need to put her in like a studio
Yeah.
because it was more like an after school type program, and I was moving really quickly and I'm
Hmm.
moving very advanced. So they were saying how I need to go to a studio. And I remember my mom was kind of just like looking around, and she ended up, um, her good friend is friends with a fellow dancer that danced at that studio,
Hmm.
and told them about the studio and said I should go there. And I went to that studio at the age of 6. I started doing tap, ballet, and jazz, and I was on cloud nine.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Hmm.
My first year in, I shined. I was in the front. I knew what I was doing. I went home and I practiced. I was ready for dance. Every Saturday morning I was like, let's go.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah. It when I moved there, it made my love for dance grow even more
Mm-hmm.
because everyone I feel like was so good that it pushed you
To be better.
to be better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And after my first year starting there, I started in recreational, and all of the teachers across the board said she needs to go into competitive.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the next year I was in competitive.
Yeah.
I started when I was 6, turned 7.
Hmm.
Um, so I was 8 years old and I was in competitive. Started off in jazz,
Yeah.
competitive jazz,
Yeah.
and I just kept going and going and going and going. So, what I will say though, before anything, as I got older, I wasn't no walk in the park.
Yeah.
I was a I was a kid. I was a teenager. I tested
Oh, you
buttons.
personally weren't a walk
Yeah,
in the park.
yeah.
Okay.
Me personally,
Yeah.
I wasn't. You know, at home and at dance, both ways.
Hmm.
I wasn't the best, you know, but I loved it so much. And like, it was the only thing that made me feel great
Mm.
was going to dance. We didn't have any type of childhood. I didn't go to birthday
No.
parties. I couldn't do nothing. I had to go to dance.
Yeah. I remember it was just school, dance, repeat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I loved it.
Yeah, no,
I
I
didn't
loved it. I
care.
wouldn't have changed it for anything.
No.
Yeah.
I didn't care to go to anything. I didn't care to go to the birthday parties. I didn't care to go outside to play. I wanted to go to dance.
Hmm.
And that was my love for it. But as you get older, you kind of see where you aligned and who you aligned with. And I didn't really align so much with the owner of the studio. I more so aligned with the
Got it.
teachers that worked
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
That was for me. How about you?
I think I didn't align with at first I aligned with the teachers for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then as my like as I started to get older and I started to get better, I feel like my relationship with the owner also got better because
Mm.
she saw my potential.
Mm-hmm.
The other teachers saw it first and
Yeah.
they were kind of the ones to
Push it.
put my name
Yeah.
in the door.
Let her see.
And then yeah, and then afterwards I think that my relationship with her got better
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
And I think at some point, the thing is with me, I always had a decent relationship
Mhm.
because I want to say I floated. I think that's the best word I can say. I floated with dancers. I was in the middle age. So, because I have an early birthday.
Right.
So, I was able to be in the advanced class and then I was able to be with my age level class. So, I was in the middle.
Mhm.
Um, and I think my passion, my drive, and my hunger for dance and the way how I can take constructive criticism, the way how I can apply corrections, I think that's what allowed me to start dancing with the older kids. I wasn't someone that was in the front of the line in every dance, um, unless it was something where I needed to, you know,
Yeah. Crack a
showcase
neck.
my blackness. That's when I got some shine in this particular class with that teacher. But um, my love grew for the teachers that believed in me. And not to say that the owner didn't believe in me, but like she knew. She knew who I was.
Yeah.
She knew I was good and she knew I could hang. But I wasn't somebody that she aligned with.
Right.
She didn't understand me.
Do you think it was tough love?
In the beginning, yeah. In the beginning, it was tough love. I feel like it was. I feel that, like, she always knew my potential and she knew what I could be if I just believed and, like, took care of, like, the walk in the park, like I said, how I wasn't.
If you took care of that part.
If I took care of my personal and, like, if I didn't always stand in the way of myself, I would have been up there. But I don't think she realized that until I got older. I think if it wasn't for the other teachers there, she wouldn't have known how well I was doing. She wouldn't have understood.
Yeah, it's the same for me, for sure. I think that, um, like I said before, over time she started to realize because those other teachers were
Saying your name.
Yeah.
Um, they said my name. They did. She let me be, like I said, I got to be in dances and stuff. But it was like, all right, I'm gonna take her at this time, but anything else, you understand her more. You understand what she's capable of doing.
In terms of one-on-one.
Well, in terms of one-on-one, you get her so that she can be able to do this in my class. That's how it was for me. I I loved I loved dance so much that all that other stuff was just a phase for me. The other things that like got in the way, like life, school, all of that, and um, I grew a tighter bond with my hip hop teacher, who became my jazz teacher, who became my mentor, who became my role model. If I really think about it, she was my role
She
model.
was a lot of people's role model.
Yeah, like even to this day, as I choreograph, like I think, like what would she do? Like that's how much like I respect her. Like the respect is there for her, no matter what.
Yeah.
And she took the like she took a chance on me, and I think that was something that I was missing from the owner.
She believed in you.
Yeah.
And you felt it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, the owner knew my potential, but she didn't believe in me. Maybe she did, but she didn't really show it. But my teacher, my hip hop teacher, believed in me. I worked with her and like the other teachers before that as well, which I do want to acknowledge. I had two other teachers and then they ended up leaving. And I was able to get a solo. Like I told you, I started at 8.
Right.
So I got a solo when I was 8 years old, a jazz solo. And my jazz teacher at that time, she loved me. She loved me. And like she knew what I was capable of doing. She was there for me. She gave me that push. She left and I didn't get a solo for 1 year, and that was because like the owner, I wasn't really dancing with the owner so much.
Right.
She didn't really train me. Like I didn't have classes with her. So once she left that teacher, I was able to go with my hip hop teacher, who then started choreographing for me. And that is where like I felt like, yo, like she paid attention to me. She knew my strength. She taught me how to do things. She gave me turns that I didn't think I could do, but she was like, no, you're gonna do it. Yeah. She pushed me. And that was what I needed. And that's what kept me going at that studio. I would get excited, or like you know, like the butterflies. I would get the butterflies when she would like come to the door and watch the dances. Cause I'd be like, crap, I gotta impress her. Like, no disrespect to the other teachers, but it's like when you see like your parents come and see you dance,
You
like
wanna do
you
well.
want to do well. I wanted to do well. I wanted her to see that I was strong, and I wanted her to see that like I'm listening to what you're saying to me. So like that was my person. That was my role model. That was my teacher.
Yeah. I kind of feel the same way, but the weird thing is that I never had that one person that was like my mentor or my guide.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't have a relationship with them like you did.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why that was, but I don't feel that connection with anyone. Like when I think about it, when I go back to those days, the owner definitely played a huge role in my dance career in terms of technique and training.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I don't have someone that's like that, and that's interesting to hear you say that that was like your person, like she pushed for you and she did that. Um, I don't know why.
I mean, everybody has different experiences,
Yeah.
different bonds. Um, but I think it was just because of it's that one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
It really was like doing the solos with her for 5 years. It was like that's she saw me grow. Like she
Yeah.
saw me grow from like a kid to like a teenager to like a young adult. Like
Mm-hmm.
even like when she sees me, she's like, "Damn!" Like,
Maybe it was the timeline because I feel like there was one person that was very relevant, and
mm-hmm.
she was the one who did like all my duets, my trios, and all of that. But it was a short time frame.
Right.
Like there wasn't
So
that.
it's cut short.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was cut short.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's why.
That could be the reason,
Yeah.
but um, there was so much things that like came into that. Like even that person is the reason why I got to be in the movie Honey.
Mm-hmm.
Like I will never forget. I was doing my hip hop mini group, and she came into the door, and she's very jokeful. So I thought she was talking crap. She's like, "You guys are gonna dance with Genuine." I was like, "Ha ha ha." First of all, I was like, I felt like I was the only one who knew who Genuine
Yeah,
was.
nobody else knew.
Because they're like
Yeah,
Genuine. Everybody
yeah.
around is like
Who's
Genuine. Who's
Genuine?
that? I'm like Genuine. Genuine is a whole artist. What are you gonna do with me? Like, and I didn't like she said it and she walked away, and I was like, okay. And like I just kept dancing, and then like we came out of the room, and she was like, no, I'm serious.
Mm.
Like there's an audition, and they need like kid dancers, and I said I have kid dancers, and you guys are gonna go do it.
Yeah.
And like we went, and like I got it, and it was all because of her.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally, it was because of her. I was like, dang, like she wasn't lying.
No, yeah, she's pulling for people.
She pulled, and that's another thing. Like she pulled for the dancers that she believed in the most.
The underdogs.
Yeah,
Too.
the
Yeah.
underdogs of dance, not the the dancers that got that treatment in different ways. She rooted for us,
Mm-hmm.
and she rooted for she rooted for the black people in certain ways.
Yeah.
She was there.
I feel like she's somebody who knew um, where that style of dance stemmed from.
Yes, she understand the roots of it.
Yeah.
She understand the history, and that never clouded her. Like she knew, she respected the black culture.
Right.
She respected it.
Yeah.
And because of that is what made me respect her even more. That's what made me feel so comfortable, because she identified me as a black dancer, as a
Mm-hmm.
black child. Like
Mm-hmm.
she didn't look at me as, she wasn't confused. And it's not to say that like I think back then it's something that it wasn't so much understood, of being black,
Yeah.
of being a black person, a black human being.
Yeah.
They just looked at everything as we're all the same, which is wonderful in some
Mm-hmm.
cases. But as I like me being my age now, I understand why there's a difference.
Yeah.
There's a difference to why I'm black, and why you are white.
Mm-hmm.
So there's so many things that align with it, and that was one thing that my teacher didn't. It never failed for her to acknowledge or to see.
Yeah, no, I definitely appreciate her. Now that I think back to it too, she really did pull for us. Like
Yeah.
even in her hip hop dances, I remember she always made sure that I was standing out in some way, giving me a special part. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
she made me feel
yeah.
like I was the shit, bro.
Yeah.
Like I felt good.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yes, this is my thing. This
And
is
she
what I
always had
gotta
the most
do.
amazing concepts, the most like
Don't get me started.
amazing routines that
Don't get me started.
yeah, she killed it.
To this day, I don't think anybody really can touch what she's done.
No.
When like you think about our routines,
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, how did she think of this?
Yeah.
Like,
No, I know. Like it's mind blowing. Even people from like other studios who she's gone and like taught them,
yeah,
they're like, yo, like, because sometimes like I find that it's hard with hip hop to do well at some competitions, but then you think of her and you're like, nah, like she always killed it.
it did well because it read well.
Yeah,
There was always a story. There was always something. She went above and beyond.
she did.
She didn't just put a hip hop dance together. She gave you a hip hop story.
A hip hop story.
And like that's what made me look up to her. Like, I felt like I had a story in any and every dance that I had with her. And it's like, if not to say the owner didn't want to work with me, but if the owner didn't want to work with me, she would take any opportunity to
She
work
did.
with me.
Yeah.
She'd be like, "It's okay, I got
I
her.
got it.
I got it. I'll
Yeah,
give
I'll
her
do
this.
it.
I'll give it. I'll do it. It doesn't matter."
Yeah.
And she did.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the reason why I respect her so much. Not that I respect the owner any less as a teacher. It's just, for someone who put the time in me, she put the time in me.
She did.
So that's why I got to acknowledge that. And that's what kind of pushed me in the studio. That's what made me want to keep dancing at that studio. But um, I didn't realize how tough it was when she was no longer there.
Yeah. I think things just changed. It was different.
Everything just took a whole shift.
Yeah.
It's like, I didn't, I loved dancing, but there was times where I didn't want to go to dance.
I'm sure there was so many I felt that way, and I'm sure there was so many other people that had that close relationship with. There was three of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That we all had
And
that.
we all were impacted by all three of them differently.
Yeah.
And that's what it like, it sounds so cheesy, but it's like almost a piece of me left.
Mm-hmm. No, it's true.
Like, literally a piece of my love for dance left. And then that's when I was just like, F this.
I remember when things started to like get hard. Like you could feel the energy in the room.
It was just
It
different.
was different.
Nobody, it's like you knew
Yeah.
who, you saw the difference.
Yeah.
You saw the difference. Like, we all danced the same. We were all beasts. We were all like, we were all good dancers, great dancers, but you saw the difference between us and them.
Mm-hmm.
And as I was getting older, I didn't like that difference.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like it. And for me to be the only black person in my classes, it's almost as if it was even more in my face. Like, it's little things that you wouldn't think that would bother you, but like, bro, like, I have to lotion my legs. Okay? Like, I
Not
have
the ash.
I have to lotion my legs.
Yeah.
And
The floor.
the floor, if you go
The
on the
hair oil.
floor, the hair oil, the floor, the lotion got on the floor. And I remember, like, people wouldn't, like, especially in acro.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Gosh.
Like, people would get upset.
Yeah.
Because, like, and we had to, like, stand in an area so that, like, people wouldn't be able to handstand walk on it, because it was like, they would get cheesed.
Yeah.
Or they would see it and like go like this,
Yeah.
and then go on the other side.
Oh my gosh.
And it made me feel
No,
like,
but it's little things like that. For
yeah,
real.
it made me feel, way, bro. I remember, like, I can't believe it, but I remember I used to lotion my legs, and then I would take like a sweater or a rag, and I would like start patting my legs off so like it can like absorb in my skin, and then go into class, because that's how embarrassed I was. Because I used to say that the floor was greasy. I'm like, I'm like, the
I don't mean
fuck?
to laugh. Yeah.
No, it's funny.
No, it's facts.
It's funny.
Yeah.
The floor is not damn greasy. It's lotion,
Yeah,
bitch.
it's
Like,
lotion. The floor is greasy. I can't with that. Yo.
I was like, huh?
Because we have to understand how big this studio was too. Like
Huge.
there was at least, like, let's just say your age group, 20 people in that class, 20 people in my age
Yeah,
group,
there was a
20
lot of
people in
us.
the- yeah,
There was a lot of us.
people.
So there was black dancers.
Yeah.
But usually it's like one or two in each class, in
Yeah.
each level.
First I think there was like 2 in my group, and then there was like 3 or 4.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't too bad, but
Mine was just me.
yeah.
As like, after fellow dancers left,
Mhm.
there was 3 of us. Yeah, there was 3 of us, and then when those 2 dancers left, it was just me. And I was just like, all right, well, I've been the only black girl, so like, I'm used to this in my classes. It's cool. And then as like we got older, there was one more black girl that came. but like I still felt, you know, and it was hard for me to accept that. There was things that were said to me. There were like parents said racist remarks, and their intent wasn't to be racist, but you could tell they were uneducated.
Yeah.
They said uneducated remarks, I'll say instead.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really think they understood.
No, that's
how
the thing is that they didn't.
They didn't understand how
No.
much that stung, how
Yeah.
much that hurt. And at some point, the only time I was getting acknowledged in the owner's classes was when you needed me to crack my neck up in hokey pokey,
Mm.
when you needed me to do something funny, like to show my blackness. And it at a sense,
It makes sense.
it made
because
sense.
No one else could play the role.
Because if someone else did it, I would have been
Yeah,
upset.
yeah.
It would have been inappropriate.
Mm-hmm.
But for me to do it, it was cool. But then I just, at some point, like I was talking to a fellow dancer that danced there. Um, at some point, we get tired of being the token black girl. Like, use me in other
Very
ways.
tired. Yeah.
Like, I can do other things. I don't just have to do this.
Yeah.
I can
Almost like putting
turn.
you in a box.
Yeah, I can jump. I'll work hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll do what I got to do. Like, I don't have to be in this one box, and whenever you need me, you want to take me out, and then other than that, put me back in that box.
Right.
I was tired of it. I was tired, and I started to rebel. And do I think that was the best way for me to handle it? No, but I was a kid.
You were a kid. Yeah.
I was a kid, and I was just fed up.
Yeah.
And that's where it started. I started to feel like I was being singled out.
Mm-hmm. I felt that way in ballet class.
Oh, girl.
Yo, that was seriously the only class that I felt that way in. It's crazy to think of it. And that's when I started to rebel in that class.
It wasn't all I didn't always feel that way. It wasn't until like the last 2-3 years of my dance training where I started to feel like I was not liked, that I was not wanted. And me getting kicked out of ballet class and like the dumb stuff that I was doing on top of that, of just being like rebellious and just, being stupid because I didn't know how to channel my anger in a way where to communicate it.
Right.
It started to surface in my dancing.
Mm-hmm.
And like I felt like if I said something, it was like they didn't see it. They're like, no. Like, what are you talking about?
You almost felt bad for saying something.
I felt like shit, and I felt like if I said something, I wasn't going to be believed.
Yeah.
So I'd said, why even say something, because they're not going to believe me.
Right.
And like now it's different from what I've heard. It's not the same. And us dancing back in the day was like 10
Yeah. Who knows if it's not
years
the same?
ago.
Who knows if it is?
10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So it could be different. And, I would hope to God that it's different. But I remember like my final days where I was just like, yo, like I can't do this.
Mm.
Like when the hip hop teacher left, my last time doing my solo, I cried. Like I bawled. I bawled my eyes out and I was like, I don't want her to go. Because I was like, what am I going to do if she leaves? Nobody is going to look at me. No one's going to care. Who's going to do my solo? What's going to happen? So I felt like I didn't want it to happen. And then I remember we were doing our mini group at recital the last year. And for the first time in my life, I messed up on stage.
Oh, shoot.
And I messed up and I really thought she was going to kill me. Like,
she didn't.
I ran off stage and I hugged her and I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm so sorry. Like, I messed up. And then when I hugged her, she was bawling.
Oh, my God.
And then I looked at her and I didn't know what to do because I've never seen her cry.
No, she's tough, man.
Never.
For her to cry?
The girl cried, bro. I was like, and it got awkward because I didn't know what to do. So I just hugged her and like she was crying and she didn't say anything. She was just crying. So I was like, all right, we'll just leave her alone. Then as I walked away, I started crying. And I was like, fuck. Like, this is real. Like, this is
it's
it.
really happening. That day was tough.
What?
For so many people. Parents, other students.
Everybody was crying.
Yeah.
Everybody was crying. Everybody was like, no. Like, everyone.
That's how much of an impact this lady made on people's lives.
And it needs to be acknowledged.
Yeah, it does.
It does.
She doesn't get her flowers enough.
Nah, bro. I'm going to build. Yo, let me plant a whole
Yeah.
garden for her, bro.
Yeah.
Tulips, what you like? Roses, pink roses. What you want?
Daisies.
Daisies? What you want? Tell me. Like,
yeah.
you deserve a field
No, she does.
because that's how great she was for
Mhm.
everybody.
For everyone.
And I'm almost certain that she impacted everybody differently.
100%.
So like,
Anyone that you ask.
why not?
Yeah.
So when that piece of me left, going back to like my rebellious me getting kicked out of ballet classes and all these things, I'll never forget one day I got kicked out of ballet class and I had jazz after the last class of the night. I remember you were there.
Are we going?
Oh,
Okay,
we're going
'cause
there.
I remember this vividly. This will never leave my mind.
It'll never leave my
No.
mind either. I got kicked out of class and I remember because if you pay attention to how the studio is, the window you can see when the
Yeah,
person's
yeah.
walking.
Oh,
So I'm up here
my heart.
and I'm going down
Yeah.
and I'm grabbing and then I came up and I saw the person coming and I went back down and by the time I went down to touch my legs, I just felt the calluses on the back of my neck, bro. And asked me if I got kicked out of ballet class and I said yes and yelled at me. And that day I wasn't the only person who got
That's
kicked
what I
out.
was just gonna say. Like, can we pause for a minute and just acknowledge that you are not the only person that got kicked out? Like, I'm pretty sure, like, you know what I mean? Like, I just did not care, so I got kicked out.
You got kicked
Yeah.
out, I got kicked out, two other dancers got kicked
Mhm.
out. And I got scolded for getting kicked
Yeah.
out.
I think everyone in that class was kind of just, there was maybe one or two people that were super focused, but everyone else was like, our minds were not in that room
No,
that day.
that day everybody was just like, I remember like he told me to pick up my stuff and told me to go home.
Yeah.
And I remember I sat outside on like the picnic table benches and I waited for my mom to come and get me. And I didn't say anything. I did not tell my mom what happened because it was like my parents.
Mm-hmm.
I was there for so long, so I felt like I got in trouble from my second father.
Yeah. We were at the studio more than we were at home.
What?
We
Listen,
lived there.
those people used to pick me up from school to bring
Yeah.
me to dance.
Yeah.
Like that was my home. That was my second home. Like I used to get in trouble at school and thank God I was going to dance and like pray.
I'm not even gonna say that's
Like-
my second home. I'm gonna say that's my first home because honestly,
I was barely home.
yeah.
Like we weren't. We spent more time at the studio than anywhere else.
Mm-hmm. After that teacher left, it was almost like, okay, the owner was like, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do. So it was either we got an outside choreographer or nothing.
I got nothing. I didn't get an opportunity because okay, when you map out like the last 2-3 years, I repeated my solo.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a little added stuff and I got like notes here and there, which was cool. Like whatever. Ran my solo a couple of times, blah 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 blah. Did my focus on my teacher's exam that year. Cool, got my teacher's exam, everything was whatever. Coasted. My last year, I had the option of repeating my solo again
Mm-hmm.
or getting the owner to do my solo. But if I did do that, I had to cough up everything up front before I could do anything. And I remember trios, duets, small groups, all of that was gone. The only thing I was offered was that. And I felt I felt shafted in a way. And the reason why I felt that way was because everybody else that came from my previous teacher, they got an outside choreographer.
And I will say that even though I had an outside choreographer, I still felt shafted.
Right.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine, but I'm talking like how I felt being in
No,
that
no, no,
predicament.
totally.
In terms of like everybody else, at least you got that
Yeah.
opportunity.
Yeah.
I never did.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, whatever. I didn't take a solo that year. I was embarrassed because I felt as if I didn't always pay for things. And I mean, at the end of the day, dance is hella expensive.
And that's not on you. You're a kid. At the
Yeah,
end of the day.
like I don't know any and everything. And my parents were hardworking parents. So I understand now and it makes me angry because I know how hard my parents worked So, but at the same time, it's like they never left, like they never not paid.
Yeah.
So it's like for years and years and years, why would that change now?
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't always pay on time. So why did I feel that way? Why did I feel like I was the one that I felt like the poor black kid?
Now that I think of it, that shouldn't even have been something that was brought to your attention.
No, it should have been brought to my parents.
Yeah.
So I was just like, all right, I guess I'm not doing a solo. I was done.
Yeah. And as you're talking, I'm like kind of thinking of, it's not that the owner didn't mess with me. I thought she messed with me on certain things, and I didn't think that was fair.
Mm.
You can't love me for one thing and then kind of like disacknowledge me for everything else.
Yeah, it was just at some point, like growing up over the course of the years, it was however amount of money you put into it was how much attention you were getting.
And that's another thing too, was although like teachers changed and the energy changed and it shifted, it also changed because everything was financially driven. It started to get more and more and more and
About
more
money.
relevant
Mm-hmm.
and about money.
Mm-hmm.
And if you didn't have it, that meant that you were dismissed.
Yeah, that's how I felt.
And it also had to do with your training. Like obviously, if you have the money to go out there and get these choreographers and these teachers to work with you, you're obviously going to be better. You know what I mean? But it sucks that you don't have that opportunity because you're not financially there.
I felt like ass when I couldn't go to those conventions.
Yeah.
I felt like that's the reason why I couldn't go to all of the workshops. I couldn't do it. Like it was a lot of money, bro.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people don't understand that. It's not that these kids didn't want to do these things, it's that they financially could not do them.
Right.
Yeah. And it's unfair to sort of blame that and put that on the kid and not give them the same amount of opportunities because of that.
My last year, I contemplated on going back to the studio. I was like, yo, I don't know if I want to do this. And I remember like I convinced myself. I was like, all right, like Cheyenne, it's your last year.
You were in grade 11?
I was in grade 12.
12.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was in grade 12 and I was like, was I in grade 11?
You might have been grade 11.
Could have been. Yeah, I was in grade 11.
Yeah.
I was like, it's my last year. Let me just ride it out. Let me just do this. I hate it here, but it's the best damn training and live with it. So we used to get our schedules in the mail.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's like golden ticket.
Yeah, you got your schedule in the mail.
Holy.
I remember the one time that I made company. This was a long time ago, and they highlight it, like what classes
what
you're
classes
in.
you're
Oh my
in, you
gosh,
saw it.
boy, I was so happy.
Man, those are the days when I see like the advanced, I'm like,
Yes. I remember one year I was doubled up, and I was like, yes,
finally.
Yeah.
So like those are those moments that you can't take away,
Yeah.
right? So last year I get the schedule. I'm laughing. It's really mean, but I'm laughing.
What happened?
I opened the schedule and I only saw like one day highlighted. And I'm not a one day highlight kind of girl.
One day out of the whole week?
I have a whole week.
Oh hell no.
Maybe like 2 days. Maybe 2 days. But nonetheless, it was my younger sister's classes.
Oh.
So I was like, wait a minute. So I'm looking at the schedule and I'm like, where are my classes?
Yo.
So, and how I know it was this is because this is what angered me, and I'll never forget it. It's like almost when you don't forget, you like scrape your knee or something. Like there's a memory that lives in your brain for rent free. I remember I looked on the side and I saw a yellow sticky note, the long medium ones with the lines, and I remember seeing Cheyenne, comma. I was kicked out of the studio on a sticky note. I remember I bawled and I didn't understand why I was crying because I didn't want to go there. But I felt like because I convinced myself and then like for you to kick me out.
Also, it's the way that it was done. Like, it's not like you were some Joe Schmo from, you know what I mean, around the corner. Like, you grew up at this studio.
I was there from the age of 6 to 16. I became a teenager.
Yeah.
A young teenager. I was almost an adult, technically speaking. So when I got kicked out, I felt like shit. And like it was like my sister's welcome. But my sister got like dropped in a lot of her classes. So again, like her experience, she already has her own experience, but even with that, she was like, what the F? So I remember talking to my mom, and my mom was like, she was almost like, are you surprised? Because they kind of were showing that like they were fed up with you. And I'm like, yeah, but not even enough to like have a conversation with me.
Right. You say that, I realized that there was somebody else I know that happened to them too. It was a letter.
Like that was it. So
Cheyenne, come on.
that was it. And I remember, and I was like, I cried. And I remember my mom went to my sister and asked her if she wanted to go back. And my sister's like, why would I go back without
Your
Cheyenne?
sister.
So I felt like I was robbing my sister.
Yeah.
So I remember I went to my hip hop teacher. And back then it was Facebook was the thing. I went on Facebook, I messaged her, and I told her. And she was like, what? And I was like, yeah. Like,
I think I remember this.
yeah.
Yeah.
I told her, I'm like, I got kicked out. And this is like where I want to cry. I'm not going to cry because
You can cry.
No, I'm not crying, bro.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Like, I'm not doing that.
Mm-mm.
I'm a bad bitch. I remember her just making me feel like I was worthy.
Yeah.
She immediately like looked at me and like she didn't actually look at me, but in the messages, she told me not to worry. She was like, listen, don't even worry about it. You're good, you're amazing. There's so many other studios out there. Like, don't feel like this is the only place that's going to accept you. You are going to flourish. You are a star. You're great. Like that belief that I was looking for from the owner, it wasn't there.
Yeah.
And that piece that left me is what filled my heart in that moment. And I was just like, wow, in literally in 10 minutes she made me feel what I was dying to feel at that place for the last 2 years.
Yeah. You know what I will say, thinking about that, is that you're lucky that you had her.
I'm
Because I think about it, and I don't. I like I was saying earlier, I don't feel like there was anyone that had me like that.
yeah. And she had my back.
Yeah.
Like she had my back. She listed places for me to go to. Like she listed places for me to go to. And it's like I immediately stopped crying. Like I just stopped crying and I just sucked up my tears and I was like, all right, if they don't want me, I'm
Someone
gonna
else
keep
does.
I'm gonna keep going because someone else will. And I remember her giving me that advice and telling me places to go to. And she named places. She was like, actually, no, I don't go there. She's like, you know what? Go here.
Yeah.
This place is aligned for you. This is great. This is a good opportunity. This is the training that you can continue. It's just as strong. So go.
And I went with you.
Yeah. I looked at you and I was like, so yo, what do you
So you want to roll out or?
I remember like when I first told you, I was like, yo, like you don't have to come with me. Like I said, I'm gonna go somewhere else.
But like I said, I was searching for that person that would root for me, that would tell me I'm amazing, that, you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, like I knew like
Yeah.
I was good.
Yeah.
But when you have that reassurance, it's just amazing. And the crazy thing is that when we went to that place, I found it. Yeah.
And I went there and you went there, but I still feel like even though I got kicked out, I was still being punished outside of their doors. It traveled with me. And I think that embarrassment is what put like the final nail in the coffin, per se. I was just like, yo, leave me alone. Like you kicked me out. You didn't even think to have a conversation with me. And you came back and I don't know how true this is. So I'll use the words allegedly. Allegedly speaking, they reached out to the studio that you and I went to and told them that I owed them money. And I remember, even me telling this story to my mom, she was like, how come they never came to me? that's like that line where like we were almost like the adults because we were so, it was almost like you talking to your child and being honest with your kid. That's like how dance teachers were. And I remember them coming to me and being like, so yo, like allegedly I got a phone call that like you owe. And I just felt like the poor black girl just came with me to the studio.
That's crazy.
Like that's how I felt.
And I loved that studio because even though she said that to them, they didn't let that get to
No,
them.
it didn't change, but you know when you feel that embarrassment,
Yeah, for sure.
it's almost as if like they didn't treat me any differently, but I felt that difference. Even though they didn't do it. I didn't feel it from them. I just felt like it was a known thing and I was embarrassed.
It was this cloud that just kind of kept
Yeah,
following you.
and it just hindered me, and I remember just making really bad decisions after that because I felt as if like, you know, my family worked so hard, so I got to go do something to go and so that these people can leave me alone. And then I just ended up just saying effort, and I didn't even finish the year at that studio. Even though like all the things I wanted, I felt love, I felt the belief, I felt the potential outside of where I got that from my hip hop teacher to get it from them. I was like, there's actually people who can see me. I got opportunities, and I want to say like I cheated myself in a sense, but I did that because I was just so tired of being that girl. So I almost felt like it followed me and I had to leave. I had to run and leave. I had to leave it alone because I said, it's never going to leave me alone unless I stop dancing. So I stopped.
That's crazy to think of that. That one thing would take away basically your dream.
Take away my joy.
Your passion.
Yeah. Dance wasn't fun anymore at that point.
Yeah. I felt that way at the other studio. But then once we moved, it totally changed everything. Like my love for dance came back. I was working hard. I was getting the things that I felt that I deserved at this place. Finally, it was like, thank you. You know what I mean?
You're getting your recognition.
Yeah.
You were getting your flowers, which is, that was great for me to see for you and to see for us.
Yeah.
That like we weren't just getting parts because it was a black girl part.
No, it wasn't at all.
I was getting parts because of my technique.
Because of my talent.
Yeah, I got to work with special choreographers. That, you know, that part where I said I felt shafted. I went to the studio and these choreographers that worked at the other studio
wanted to work with me here. Yeah.
And it almost made me feel like, did you want to work with me there too? And I just didn't get that opportunity because I couldn't afford it.
Right.
So I didn't know what else to do with my life at that point. I went through a rough I want to say from when I was like 18, 19, 2 years. I just didn't like dance anymore. I hated it. I hated the way it made me feel. Personally, there was a lot of like personal family issues that I was dealing with.
Yeah. At the time.
Not so much financial. It was just more so like something drastic happened and everybody had to stop and like focus. And that's when like I was like, I'm getting a second opportunity, so I gotta like dance.
Yeah.
And I went back into dancing and like drop-in studios and stuff.
Nice. Yeah, that's good. I think I finished at that studio.
Yeah, you finished strong though.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, because like we were still friends.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Like I was happy for you. I was like, damn, yo,
Yeah.
represent. And like I remember like me asking you, is anybody saying anything? And you're like, no. Everybody.
No, and that's the thing is nobody felt like any sort of way. Nobody spoke about it. You know how like I feel like at the first year there was a lot of drama. Like everyone was just trying to talk and talk and talk. At this studio, it wasn't like that. I mean, of course,
there was politics, but it wasn't so loud.
Yeah, no. Everybody was just there for that reason, the passion, the love of dance. Like even the teachers, like the main teacher had that like passion that sort of you could read it and it came off of her onto you. And I feel like that's so necessary.
That separation from dance, it almost molded me into the person I am today. I valued dance way more after you left it. Yeah.
I think I feel the same. I didn't actually finish my grade 12, but I danced in school. But I still felt like something was missing. And dance is something that always came back to me, even if I wasn't looking for it. Yeah. So I agree.
I danced in school as well. It just wasn't the same. I started to take the lead of like more choreographing. That's what made me want to become a dance teacher.
So it came back to you in a different way.
Came back to me in a different way, less being a dancer at that time and more being a dance teacher and being able to like choreograph like dance shows at our school and like being recognized for my work. I was like, this feels pretty damn good.
Yeah. You know what's crazy is like I think about how if I still danced at the first studio, I would have never went for the things that I did leaving. Like at school, I would have never auditioned to do a solo because I just
never
didn't.
got that.
Yeah.
I never got that except for that one lane.
Right. But once I left, I was like, damn, like I really am like good, and I really could do this.
You were damn good.
Yeah.
And it's so funny that like I believed in you from when we were kids. I told you. I was like, you're good. You're really good because you didn't think you were good. I'm like, are you stupid? Like, but you see you? You're like, yeah, but what? I'm like, you're good. Like, you're really good, and someone's gonna see it, and that's why I didn't take you with me, but like, I wanted you to see
that there's other things.
That there was other things
and
because
I'm so thankful for that.
I had a teacher who made me see that. So it was almost like I had that leadership role with you to make you see that as well.
Yeah.
But you know, going into like our adult times, we both have very much different experiences. Teaching outcome with the first studio. Like you, how would you say your relationship is with them between the time that you left until like now?
So when we had left, I don't think either me or my mom said anything. And they kind of called being like, hey, like, where is she? And my mom was just kind of like, we moved. And he's like, but what? Like, we're family. Like, you know, you can talk to me. So I didn't know that until like last year my mom told me this.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah, so I never knew that. But if I was to ever see them in public, I don't know what it would be like. I don't know if anyone would say anything, if we would acknowledge each other, or what the case would be.
Have you ever seen them?
I have. I saw the lady, the owner at Comp, and she was kind of like, oh, sorry, honey. You know what I mean? But I didn't know if it was like an acknowledgement of, oh, shit, that's her. Because I'm sure like I look different, and she wouldn't have recognized me.
I
think so?
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
You do not look different.
Maybe it was kind of just like a bump, but she didn't realize it was me at the
you,
time. Maybe until afterwards she walked away and realized that it was me. But I think that if we saw each other now, knowing that they said that like, oh, like, where'd you go? Like, we're family. I might say hi.
Years went on, and I never really saw them. And I remember I was working at a studio, and I can say this because this is my truth, right? Not fabricating anything.
No, you're speaking your truth.
This is my truth. This is my experience.
Yeah.
This is my side to what happened.
Right.
So I was teaching at a studio, and this was like the first studio I was starting to feel like I was being trusted with my training, with my knowledge, and with my choreography, and with my career. Loved working at the studio. The studio gave me the first opportunity. So I'm working there, whatever. And one night we were outside and we were talking. I think we were close. I'm talking to her and she tells me, so yo, like, I got a funny email. I was like, what? And she's like, well, like, you know the place where you dance at? I was like, yeah. Like, yeah, well, email, it's either email or call, one of the other. And they were like, oh, Cheyenne only danced at this place. She didn't teach here, just to let you know. And she was like,
put that on your resume that you,
oh, yeah. Like I said, you gotta give credit where credit's due.
Right.
That training got me jobs, for sure. You get a diploma, it's like when you go to Harvard University.
they automatically know you're elite because Harvard University is a great school. Harvard Law, so they're going to believe that was like the law school of dance, pretty much. So I've never once said I taught there. I've always just said I was a student because for me, being a student gave me more leverage.
Yeah.
Because to train from somewhere, be educated, and gain that knowledge from that person is better than me being a teacher there, in my humble opinion. So, anyways, yeah, she told me that. I just looked at her and I was like, she's like, yeah, and I told them that I knew that. And she's like, I don't know. She's like, I don't even understand like why they would say that to me. Do you know why? And I just sat there and I was like, why would they do that? Like, I never. So I sat back and I just realized, and I looked at my resume, and I remember like when I'm looking for jobs, it says like assistant teacher, and I was an assistant to a teacher, and I'm okay with saying I was assistant, and I did help with assistant, and when we had dance-a-thons, when I couldn't go to the conventions, I taught at a dance-a-thon. I never said I was a teacher, but that was on my resume,
Right.
Because that's facts. Had a conversation, and I remember the parent told me like, yo, maybe you should like reach out. You know what? All right, I'm gonna reach out.
So you reached out.
Yeah, I was 27.
Wow,
26,
so this
27.
wasn't that long ago.
It was not long ago. 26,
Crazy.
27, a couple years ago. And because I was with my boyfriend right now. So yeah, it was the beginning of our relationship. So I went and I emailed. I said, hey, I want to have a conversation with you guys. Just feel like the time is now. I still am within the area. Let me know a good time. I would love to sit down and talk to you, or even just call me. Nice email. Sincerely, warm regards, best regards. Shay.
Kind regards.
You know?
Yeah.
Like 5 minutes later, I got a response. Chest was like, bitch.
I don't know what the response was.
I got a no thanks.
Period?
No, not even a period, bitch. Not even a period. I got a capital N, no thanks. Not even a warm regards, best regards, sincerely. Nothing. Not even an
email signature.
Not even an email signature, fam. Not even a dear Cheyenne, no thanks. No. No thanks. It was like when you reply, no thanks. I wasn't gonna let them do me like that. So I responded right back in the most professional way that I possibly could. And I remember I asked my mom, I'm like, yo, does this sound okay? I was like, all right, no problem. Since your response wants to be so unprofessional and you want to be childish, that's fine. You can do that. Mention my name again to anybody and I'm gonna sue you. And I can say that on my chest. That's exactly what I said.
In the email.
I said it in the email. Because you are preventing me from doing something because you are telling people I'm saying something that I didn't even say. And instead of coming to me and asking me, did this happen? You didn't say nothing to me.
Yeah, that's not right.
You kept your mouth shut and you act like you knew where I was. So that means I'm accessible.
Yeah.
Like the fact that I reached out to you at my big age, 10 years later, and you just disregarded me.
Dismissed you.
You dismissed me? Why are you so mad?
Yeah.
You kicked me out of your establishment. I was not a good fit for your establishment. So why are you upset at me?
It's like you weren't a good fit for their establishment, but they didn't want to see you succeed anymore.
No, because when I tried, and this is why it's more believable that when I was younger, they did that too. I don't have proof. I don't know. So that could be up in the air. But if you're going to bring that into my adult life, how do I not know you didn't do that to me when I was a kid?
So weird for me because I'm going through all these emotions in my head because she was so nice to me, but then knowing like all of this from you, it totally changes my.
It's like night and day.
Yeah.
You change because everybody has a different experience with her. Everybody does, and it's fine. It's okay. And if you had a good experience, by all flipping means, do what you have to do. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to change anybody's narrative of this woman. I'm just saying this is who I am,
Right.
and this is what happened with
Right.
me.
And I'm not even saying my experience was so great because, like I said, I don't feel like I had anyone to really, like, pull for me. But as a person, she seemed like a nice lady to me.
Right.
Like, she was always nice to me. Good job. You know what I mean? So it's weird.
I did have that moment, but then it started to shift towards my last years at that place.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, even to know how much I'm not a person that stops anything. I have cousins, I have family members, I had nieces that danced at that studio.
Yeah, like I would
after,
still
and
recommend.
I still recommended that studio because it was the best studio. So why am I going to try and cheat anybody from getting training?
Because at the end of the day, why are we holding on to this for so long? Like,
What are you so mad about?
yeah.
I made dumb decisions as a kid. Like, it's not even like things that I did into my adult life. I made dumb ass decisions because I was angry. I was upset. I felt singled out. I felt like I wasn't privileged. And it's like, again, I don't want to take it away from my parents, but I didn't understand. I didn't understand why. And then as I started to understand, as I got older, I started to feel uncomfortable. And instead of you acknowledging that I was uncomfortable for reasons that I shouldn't have been uncomfortable, you just left it alone. I can show you in my phone right now. I can show you I was a part of something, a little reunion. I said nothing. I didn't even say nothing. I said nothing. I was a part of a little reunion thing that was supposed to happen. Why was I in the waiting room the whole time? When they did it without me. And you can't, I don't give up. I know how the zoom zoom boom boom in the room works, okay? I know how that shit works. You saw me. Didn't say nothing. At my big dirty age now, you're still behaving this way? So at this point, I looked at that and that was like, all right, this is how they want to play. This is how it's going to be. All right, cool. I'm going to be this way too.
With this conversation, I did really want to give you the floor to express.
I know you barely said anything.
No, I know,
but I just feel like I had to.
No, and I know, and that's why I want to say that is because our experiences are very different when it comes to this situation. But I also want to let you know that the situation that happened, like you're saying, it helped you grow, and it instilled like this resilience in you to keep going, to keep fighting, and that's what we have to take from it as well. Is that we can't let people determine what happens in our life. And even if someone tries to shoot us down, let them know that it's not affecting me.
You're going to cry. Like, I want to cry.
Yeah, no. And I want to keep putting that out there in the air because we can't keep letting people do that. And it's good that we get emotional because we have to realize, like, bitch! Bitch! No.
No, ma'am!
Yeah. No, because
ma'am.
even for me, like, even though, like, I'm saying what I'm saying, and I feel like nobody had my back like that, I still push forward as a kid. You know what I'm saying? And now me with my students, I make sure that I'm super attentive and I want to understand everybody's wants and needs. And I'm even talking to my students just to like understand them and understand why maybe, even if they're not paying attention in ballet class, why are you not paying attention in ballet class? I'm trying to understand it. That's the type of person, that's the type of teacher that you need to be.
That's how I am now. It's so funny because, like, a lot of like my issues when I was younger, a lot of it was like, yo, you're too much of a friend. But the reason why I was like that is because I had a mentor, I had a friend, I had somebody who didn't. So like, as I'm a teacher today, like I make sure that that's what I do with my students. I believe in you, I give you opportunities, I work with you, I tell you. To this day, I say, ballet may not be your favorite thing, but you need it. You need it.
Yeah.
I tell all of my students this, knock me down. Any studios I work at to this day, they will tell you, I say it. I bring the energy, I bring the moment, I genuinely care, and like I want to see like I want to see them do good.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's that care. Like these kids, especially now, need that.
Yeah, with everything going on
Yeah.
outside, I try to give them as much as a hope. I joke about it. I'm like, summer 2021, is that you? Like, I say all these things to them because I need to give them the hope that I needed when I was dancing, and that hope that I lost made me lose my love for dance at one point. And I have great relationships with my allies who stood with me and like never treated me differently, knowing all the bull crap that I did, knowing all the stuff I did. They stood by me, and I want to name all these people. I'm not going to, but they know who they are.
Name me. I'm right here, baby.
No, well, obviously it's you, but you're not my ally. You're my sister, bitch. Like, what the fuck? Like, that's my thing. So I don't know. That's why I guess that's why I got a little emotional. Is because like, I know how hard I worked, and I know I'm not gonna stop.
Yeah, we can't stop.
No.
Yeah.
So like, you might have tried, but like,
good try.
Nice try. I'm like, as much as you just saw me get emotional, like my eyelash went, yeah, fucked up right now. Let me tell you something.
I'm surprised I didn't cry.
I know. I'm ready for the smoke, doc. Okay, I'm an emotional person. I'm Aquarius, but like, listen. All the dancers out there, you can do it. Okay, no matter what. I'm glad. As I went to those recitals, I saw more girls that looked like me. I saw more boys that looked like me. I saw more human beings that looked like me. I'm glad to say that that studio has a lot more Black people, and I'm loving to see it and all that side of the ish. I'm not there, so I don't know how their experience is. But at the end of the day, I hope they changed towards other people. They might have not have changed towards me, but I hope you change towards other people.
Yeah, and that's all we can hope for.
Rooting for you, and trust me, like I understand and I know this was a very long episode, but this was something that you and I, this is what started CheyTea Podcast.
Yeah,
we had this conversation, and we really need to talk about this one day.
Yeah, and I was saying that as well because like half of this stuff I didn't know. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, so. It was good to hear it. It was good to understand. It was good to understand you more and get to know the story a little bit more. So I'm happy we did have this conversation.
I think that hip hop teacher, I don't know if you're ever listening, but if you're listening on
Yo.
you know what I'm saying? Trust me, you still inspire me to this day, and even from afar, there's always love.
Always love. Always love.
But I hope y'all enjoyed this long, emotional ass episode.
Real episode.
Man. You know what to do.
Yeah. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit that bell button. And make sure you comment. And yeah, just give us a thumbs up.
Give some encouraging words.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Encourage one another.
Uplifting words.
You know?
We have to do more of that.
Yeah.
Encouraging one another.
If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please give us a 5-star rating and write us a review, please. Spotify listenership, please follow us. You know what it is. CheyTea Podcast on everything.
Yes, new episode every Sunday. Thank you guys so much for watching. And like I always say, we'll be back with more episodes.
Bye. I gotta go fix my lashes now. Last out by Tanya, eyes though, temptation. You know, Black business. We outside. We outside.
Represent.